Welcome to this little presentation on Drive-In Jesus, a documentary by Lauren DeFilippo. Drive-In Jesus, or Clean Hands, as its original title actually was, is a 2016 short documentary created by Lauren DeFilippo. It is exploring a church service in Daytona Beach in Florida, which has a unique concept. It is a drive-in church service. So the film is going through the service from beginning to end, observing what is going on and the people who attend this service. So the mode is definitely observational. There's no voiceover or voice of God or anything like that. The timeline is very linear. It takes us from point A to point B. And there's no interference or interviews or anything like that, so the mode is leaning very much towards observational. But there are a few elements used that is not considered observational usually. For example, the use of non-diegetic music. So there is a lot of non-diegetic music throughout the film, especially in the beginning and the end, which is very unconventional in terms of observational filmmaking. Another thing that she have done is that she have mixed audio and created a sound mix. So what happened was that when she was filming, she actually filmed over 3 separate days. But the audio of the priest talking is from 1 day only. So she took the audio from that, the priest talking, and she created a separate track and put that on top of footage with synced audio from all 3 days. And this way of doing it in post kind of makes the film a little bit constructed, which could be an argument that it is not observational. But in my opinion, it still is, because of everything that I mentioned. And also just the look and the feel of the film is very observational. And these elements that she used could just be a part of her style, her individual style as a filmmaker. For example, the way she uses music and sound, she kind of creates a mood and kind of a mysterious vibe around this weird place, which is something that she's chosen to do. Another thing that she have chosen to do is to use very little camera movement. Usually when you watch a observational documentary, there's a lot of camera movement, usually handheld, following the subjects, zooming in and out, because they have to film everything on action. But this film is very different. There's very little camera movement. There's one shot taken from the back seat of a car, which you can see is handheld. It's a little shaky. And then there's the shot that is viewed on the screen right now. It's a panning shot of a car moving in to the service in the beginning of the film. But other than that, there's very little camera movement, which is very different from what it usually is in observational films. So how all of this kind of works together, I have sort of explained that already, or touched on it, but the personal style, first of all, definitely inspired the content. So usually her films explores concepts of visionaries and outliers and overlooked places, and the way she captures these places is through creating this mysterious vibe that I talked about. And the fact that she uses this style in her films has definitely inspired her to create a film about this drive-in church service, and to create the content that she created. Secondly, the content is, as mentioned, expressed in a very observational way. So there's no interviewer or anything like that who explains what is going on. It's simply a camera observing what is happening, and the audience has to create their own meaning and create their own ideas of what the content actually is. And lastly, the personal style, also as mentioned, separates very much from the mode. So she has some elements in the film that is usually not considered observational, which definitely separates this film from other observational documentaries, and also separates her as an observational filmmaker from other observational documentary filmmakers.